Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
A diversion that occupies one's time and thoughts, usually pleasantly. They criticize the boy for his limited pursuits. An auxiliary activity. The act of pursuing in an effort to overtake or capture. The culprit started to run and the cop took off in pursuit. A search for an alternative that meets cognitive criteria. The pursuit of love. Be on the mind of. A reason for wanting something done. In the interest of safety. Be of importance or consequence. A diversion that occupies one's time and thoughts, usually pleasantly. He counts reading among his interests. The power of attracting or holding one's attention, because it is unusual or exciting, etc. They said nothing of great interest. A sense of concern with and curiosity about someone or something. An interest in music. Law. A right or legal share of something, a financial involvement with something. They have interests all over the world. Usually plural, a social group whose members control some field of activity and who have common aims. The iron interests stepped up production. A fixed charge for borrowing money, usually a percentage of the amount borrowed. How much interest do you pay on your mortgage? Excite the curiosity of. Engage the interest of. A diversion that occupies one's time and thoughts, usually pleasantly. Sailing is her favorite pastime. An auxiliary activity. A line giving the name of the writer of a story or article. An auxiliary activity. A child's plaything consisting of an imitation horse mounted on rockers. The child straddles it and pretends to ride. An auxiliary activity. Small old world falcon formerly trained and flown at small birds. A line that marks the side boundary of a playing field. An auxiliary activity. An auxiliary line of merchandise. Remove from the center of activity or attention. Place into an inferior position. The outspoken cabinet member was sidelined by the president. An auxiliary activity. Cut a furrow into a columns. Go after with the intent to catch. The policeman chased the mugger down the alley. United States politician and jurist who served as Chief Justice of the United States Supreme Court, 1808 to 1873. Pursue someone sexually or romantically. The act of pursuing in an effort to overtake or capture. A rectangular metal frame used in letterpress printing to hold together the pages or columns of composed type that are printed at one time. Cut a groove into. Chase silver. A group of followers or enthusiasts. Immediately following in time or order. The following day. About to be mentioned or specified. The following items. The act of pursuing in an effort to overtake or capture. Going or proceeding or coming after in the same direction. The crowd of following cars made the occasion seem like a parade. In the desired direction. A following wind. The act of pursuing in an effort to overtake or capture. The continuance of something begun with a view to its completion. A search for an alternative that meets cognitive criteria. Life is more than the pursuance of fame. The act of searching for something. A quest for diamonds. Express the need or desire for. She requested an extra bed in her room. Bark with prolonged noises, of dogs. A search for an alternative that meets cognitive criteria. A quest for wealth. Make a search, for. Things that die with their eyes open and questing. Search the trail of, game. The dog went off and quested. Seek alms, as for religious purposes. An attack calculated to draw enemy defense away from the point of the principal attack. An activity that diverts or amuses or stimulates. Scuba diving is provided as a diversion for tourists. A turning aside, of your course or attention or concern. A diversion from the main highway. Activity that refreshes and recreates. Activity that renews your health and spirits by enjoyment and relaxation. Days of joyous recreation with his friends. An activity that diverts or amuses or stimulates. For recreation he wrote poetry and solved crossword puzzles. The act of changing location from one place to another. Police controlled the motion of the crowd. Show, express or direct through movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The cinema relies on apparent motion. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A formal proposal for action made to a deliberative assembly for discussion and vote. He made a motion to adjourn. The use of movements, especially of the hands, to communicate familiar or prearranged signals. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. The reflex motion of his eyebrows revealed his surprise. A state of change. They were in a state of steady motion. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. A euphemism for defecation. He had a bowel movement. A group of people with a common ideology who try together to achieve certain general goals. He was a charter member of the movement. An optical illusion of motion produced by viewing a rapid succession of still pictures of a moving object. The succession of flashing lights gave an illusion of movement. A natural event that involves a change in the position or location of something. A general tendency to change, as of opinion. A broad movement of the electorate to the right. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. A series of actions advancing a principle or tending toward a particular end. The movement to end slavery. A major self-contained part of a symphony or sonata. The second movement is slow and melodic. The act of changing the location of something. The movement of cargo onto the vessel. The driving and regulating parts of a mechanism, as of a watch or clock. It was an expensive watch with a diamond movement. Give an incentive for action. This moved me to sacrifice my career. Be in a state of action. Change location. Move, travel, or proceed, also metaphorically. The soldiers moved towards the city in an attempt to take it before night fell. The act of changing location from one place to another. The movement of people from the farms to the cities. Cause to move or shift into a new position or place, both in a concrete and in an abstract sense. The director moved more responsibilities onto his new assistant. Perform an action, or work out or perform an action. We must move quickly. The act of changing your residence or place of business. They say that 3 moves equal 1 fire. Have a turn. Make one's move in a game. Have an emotional or cognitive impact upon. Follow a procedure or take a course. A change of position that does not entail a change of location. Movement as a sign of life. Progress by being changed. Propose formally, in a debate or parliamentary meeting. Arouse sympathy or compassion in. Her fate moved us all. Change residence, affiliation, or place of employment. We moved from Idaho to Nebraska. Dispose of by selling. The chairman of the company told the salesman to move the computers. Game. A player's turn to take some action permitted by the rules of the game. Go or proceed from one point to another. The debate moved from family values to the economy. Live one's life in a specified environment. She moves in certain circles only. Move so as to change position, perform a non-translational motion. He moved his hand slightly to the right. The act of deciding to do something. He didn't make a move to help. Inquire into. The students had to research the history of the Second World War for their history project. An operation that determines whether one or more of a set of items has a specified property. The activity of looking thoroughly in order to find something or someone. Search or seek. Try to locate or discover, or try to establish the existence of. The police are searching for clues. An investigation seeking answers. A thorough search of the ledgers revealed nothing. Boarding and inspecting a ship on the high seas. Right of search. Subject to a search. The police searched the suspect. The examination of alternative hypotheses. His search for a move that would avoid checkmate was unsuccessful. The scientific study of caves. The pastime of exploring caves. The scientific study of caves. The pastime of exploring caves. The pursuit of a person or animal, by following tracks or marks they left behind. The pursuit of a person or animal, by following tracks or marks they left behind. A hunt for game carried on by following it stealthily or waiting in ambush. The act of following prey stealthily. Material consisting of seed coverings and small pieces of stem or leaves that have been separated from the seeds. A slender or elongated structure that supports a plant or fungus or a plant part or plant organ. A hunt for game carried on by following it stealthily or waiting in ambush. The act of following prey stealthily. A stiff or threatening gait. Follow stealthily or recur constantly and spontaneously to. Her ex-boyfriend stalked her. Go through an area in search of prey. Stalk the woods for deer. Walk stiffly. The act of following someone secretly. The act of following someone secretly. The fruitless pursuit of something unattainable.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.